series. It's called Synchronicity and Violence. And sort of like a lot of the stuff came to me, I didn't know, we all didn't know back in March that, Trump would be on the Republican ticket, but I have a lot of Trump stuff in this, I kind of like, you have like premonitions sometimes when you write, you feel a certain way. This is very political. This is like almost political book, even more so than Monkey Assassin. It's my second and most popular book so far. But I'm going to go ahead and read like 3 from these, I'm going to try to keep it short. But this one's not specifically about Trump, but I mean, his dark presence kind of looms over over the book, or at least the political process. Everything that's been happening so far, kind of looms over my poems. This one's called Nuisance, and I start with two. I usually start with 2 quotes before I begin the poem. This is by David Gerold. Life is hard, then you die. Then they throw dirt in your face. Then the worms eat you. Be grateful it happens in that order. And then this is a quote by Kate Rodkowski. Nothing ever ends poetically. It ends, and we turn it into poetry. All that blood was never once beautiful. It was just red. So what happens to the milkmen of inner city ghettos, born to be forgotten, rendered into shadows? The marginalized, stoic victims of a Rolodex of isms, only catching suspicious sideways glances, the compulsion of our denial. We never give them their due. Emotions we reject out of habit because their weakness is emasculation. Community leaders saying, keep the peace, your treasures await with Jesus above. If suffering is good for the soul, black heaven is paved with 14-karat gold. Cynicism, their weapon of choice. See how these wounded kids get even. Every sarcastic remark, a state of war, an act of treason. On an anti-ballistic tear, no sides giving an inch of compromise. Prime numbers in a house divided by one last stand. Leave me the fuck alone, their scornful attitudes suggest universal contempt. Becoming societal nuisances. We're scared shitless of them. They've given up on humanity, preferring the music of genocide, riding high on the thudding bone crush of capitalism, the almighty mean green hypnotism of oral alchemy, monetary power to purify the symphonic spirit with lustrous and industrious desires. Fruition stems through daydreams blissing, blood nectar for such reminiscing, their geometric echo, downward spirals decomposing, the involution of youth's misspent years. Sociopathic perfectionism. Oh, when that morbid noise infests the ears, mnemonic sleepwalking through their death instinct. The elaborate collapse of civility and mind control, like an addict's bare light bulb, its insides carpeted with moth corpses. These pump vampires flying toward the sun. Their propulsive motion, once chosen, gives birth to a voice of malevolence. The hottest infinite misdirected vengeance, hissing stream of excess. A daily rape of innocence the materialists possess. A buried alive consciousness screaming that everything is fucked. Something in them, perhaps compassion for their fellow man, has died. What can we do to save these misfits? They are a flock of sheep, stampeding off time's cliff, bleating a yellow streak. It takes a great leap of faith to break away from internalized hate. A desperation starved, angry, driving themselves to wickedness. They die trying to get rich quick, a fixation, a resolve as stubborn as a thorn we can't extract. Digging it out is a daily task. Digging it out is a deadly task. Blocked by the bureaucratic whims of appointed saviors bringing plagues. Dead tits do not lactate. Black milk from a corpse's breasts. The sick drink of paradoxical existence. That's Nuisance. It's about, basically growing up in the ghetto, being black and poor, and you kind
about internalizing that hate because, it's just like black on black violence, just like all forms of, violence, it's going to, but basically everything that surrounds you, you're going to lash out at. If you're in a certain community, that's who you lash out at. So it's basically like internalized hate, internalized racism. That's basically what this is. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to read a poem of when I was in the Army. I was in the military for 1988 to 2006, and this is one of those that, Well, this is one of the poems that I created out of the journals that I used to keep with me when I was on active duty. I have two quotes. John Lennon, "Reality leaves a lot to the imagination." And this one's by H.R. Geiger, the creator of Aliens. "I like to combine human beings, creatures, and biomechanics. There is hope and a kind of beauty somewhere in there if you look for it." And this poem's called Hua, because Hua is something that I was taught as a soldier. It just means, Roger, I got it. I'm going to follow orders. Hua. It's the 13th day of April. I have been in Fort Irwin, California for over a week. This is our first full day of field training. All the other days up to this point were preparatory, spent doing PMCS on vehicles, fixing them, dispatching them, fueling up, drawing weapons for inspection with our taser tag equipped black vests on. A TA-50 layout last Thursday, dressed in Mach Level 2. Only 85 degrees out, but it felt twice as hot in that shitty suit. Thank fucking God it was at level 3 or 4 and we were wearing masks. Woke up at 0500 hours today just to wait in the motor pool for 6 straight hours. What the hell were our commanders doing in all that time? I can't fucking stand these snail-paced convoy operations, waiting for another 2 hours in a stacked I formation, blocked ambush style. Some other stupid unit in the convoy ahead wouldn't move the fuck out of the way. I would rather be doing anything else. I have 3 long months left before leave. When I return to Fort Stewart, Georgia, I need to make an appointment with JAG or whoever. Under the contract I signed, the Army is supposed to pay my student loans on time. Not let the government take away my hard-earned $716 tax refund the way they did. The college loan repayment program should have prevented that. This is fucking bullshit. My privacy was invaded last one during PT, too. I know Specialist Allen took my private journal. Next day it showed up on my bunk like it was an accident. What the fuck is this problem? For at least the next 2 weeks, I'll be out in this desert hellhole in this hot pickle suit. At least I got laid for my Jacksonville birthday weekend at Club 3D. I think his name was Will. Dude wasn't really all that attractive before the vodka kicked in, but fuck it was fun. My 10th day at NTC, that's National Training Center, with 20 more to go, first time in California, and I can't even enjoy it. Can't go to LA. I want to get drunk and laid again as soon as possible after I get back to Georgia. But after I straighten out my financial situation with JAG. That's cool. I'll read another one. This is a poem that a friend of mine really likes a lot.
That's fine.
I try to be as have a variety of themes, and I often like just do the characters for certain poems. Sometimes it's recurring characters. But this one here, a friend of mine, actually the one who designed the cover for me, his name is Cameron. He lives in Austin. He likes this one a lot. It's called Dark Roots.
Roots or dark roots?
Dark roots. Roots, like, plants. Dark roots. 2 quotes. This one's by my favorite author, Clive Barker, one of my most favorite authors. The past had been written by men, but the future, pregnant with possibilities, the future was a woman. And then this is Ralph Ellison, the author of Invisible Man. I am invisible, understand, simply because people refuse to see me. She's heaven fixated with a stony demeanor, her soiled hands clasped in prayer against her chest, her burning eyes, twin cauldrons for unborn feral souls to swim. Restless transgressions play cause and effect with dire speculation.
Her internal compass busted up from madness and neglect, quenching her prickly vein dreams with cold fire down the throat. Shot after shot, the wormwood-addicted pole lover hallucinates. She'll piss and shout, puke it all out, pass out and wait for the dawn. Her sham marriage to a cold brute, a corpse in her bloated gut. How much will it take to kill the dead slut? The famous Valentine's Day massacres she's had more than enough of, gilding arenas to privilege whores with whenever they commodify love. It makes a widow retreat from the world to seek the grace of Jesus alone. Sated by the perfume of roses and bloodshed, she's been receptive in the pew. Nails and holy wood will make her pure as the driven snow again. The teeth and tools of wolves puncture her present vessel. That shop's closed. As her heart houses seeds of noir, the journals of wicked gestation, the dark roots sprout of their own accord, temptation's beckoning schemes. Time to bathe in the lamb's blood rushing stream, emerge immaculate, pristine, her furiously scribbled knowledge in a safe deposit box, her pen mightier than the blade but she's sharpening both ends. After her halcyon season follows her mourning phase. With her past life draped in black chantilly lace and laid to rest, she will mete out her revenge sooner than you think.